Welcome back to week 14 of our ranking every chicken breed that we own series. We got a nice one for you today. Finally a little bit of sunshine after the past 2 weeks being dark and gray. So let's get into it. Before we get into the exact breed that we're doing today, I wanted to do a little bit of a refresher on the criteria that we use to rank. So we have 4 different categories, all of them out of 5 to give us a total score out of 20 to give us our final ranking. With the first category being eggs, it's everything to do with eggs as far as egg size, egg color, egg quantity, all eggs. Number 2 is broodiness. So how often is the chicken wanting to go broody, meaning that they want to hatch out their own eggs, stop laying eggs, sit on eggs, and so it's broodiness. Number 3 is friendliness. That's friendliness to people and friendliness to the flock. So we have a very diverse flock, as you can see behind me, all different colors, shapes, sizes, personalities. So how well do they get along with all of the chickens that they live with, as well as do they want to interact with the people? And then the 4th and final category is completely subjective, and it is cuteness. Essentially, this is any fun characteristic that I want to include about the chicken. How cute are they just generically, like looking at them? Are they cute? Do they have a cute personality? Are they unique? Things like that. And that's our final. And so we get the total score out of 20, and then we get to rank them up against all the breeds that we've already done, as well as all our future breeds going to follow into the same criteria. So we'll be able at the end to have 26 different rankings for all of our different chicken breeds and where they fall. So today we are doing our black copper Maran Connie. So Connie is a black copper Maran, you see her right here. She is our only chicken in the flock with solid black feathers. We have Figgy over there who's all black, but she's silky, so different kind of feathers. And we have other chickens that have black in their coloration, but she's our only predominantly black chicken. So she stands out when she's out here, so it's super easy to find her. She's the darkest one. And it's been some sort of lore on the internet for a while that if you have a black chicken in the flock, at least one, it helps protect your flock from aerial predators. And the reason being is that people argue that a black chicken makes other predators like a hawk think that they're a crow. And historically, crows and hawks don't get along with each other. So if a hawk sees a crow nearby, they're not going to want to come over and bother him. So the thinking is you have a black chicken in your flock, looks like a crow. When everybody's out here outside, a hawk flies by, sees that it's a crow, and doesn't want to mess with it. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I've heard stories of people having black chickens that get attacked by hawks, and I have other people that say that black chickens work. But regardless, we do have one in our flock, and so far, knock on wood, we haven't had any aerial predator losses. So I'm not saying that has anything to do with Connie, but it is just a fun little tidbit. Anyway, back to the breed, black copper Marans. So she is a Marans. We've done a couple of ours before. We have Wilma over here, the Wheaton Marans that we've ranked, and we also have Mildred back there, the Golden Cuckoo Marans that was also ranked. So she's our 3rd Marans, which essentially means that she's a French breed that lays dark chocolate brown eggs. That's the whole idea of the Marans breed. Most people have them because they lay a darker brown egg. And the black copper Marans that Connie is the most common Marans that you'll find. Usually if a place like a feed store or online hatchery is selling any Marans, it would most likely be the black copper. And then of course there's other variations, but black copper is the most common that you'll find. It's this black coloration. You'll see she has a nice sheen to her in the black. You'll see right around her neck is where they get the copper part of the name. You can see that copper colored feathers coming in. So she's mostly black with the copper on her neck, black copper Marans. The Marans typically also have feathered legs, which she does. She's not as heavily feathered as like Wilma is over there. or Millie is, but she does have a good amount on her legs, which is typical for Marans as well. Other characteristics are that single comb. You'll see that straight line comb on the top of her head as well. And that's pretty much everything about the Marans. Like I said, the most unique thing is the dark colored eggs. That's why most people have them, and that is why we got her. And speaking of eggs, let's go into the first category. So Connie here is a good egg layer. She lays probably about 4 to 6 eggs a week when she's in the middle of laying. She just finished molting, so these are all fresh feathers, so she hasn't been laying for the last little bit, but I do have some pictures here of her eggs when she was in lay, and they were a really good size. Marans are typically on the medium to large size, so like somewhere in between, not the biggest chickens, but not the smallest either. Pretty good size. So she laid a large egg when she's laying, and it is our darkest brown of any of our Marans. So you can see here all of our Marans compared. She lays the darkest. Absolutely beautiful. I really liked it because I am personally partial to the dark eggs, and she lays the darkest, so I really like it. It's really exciting when you come out to the nest box and you get that nice really dark egg in there around with everybody else. Really stands out and pops, and I really like it, as I've said a couple times. And so overall, she lays 4 to 6 eggs a week, large eggs, and beautiful dark chocolate brown. I'm gonna give her a solid 5 out of 5. There's not really anything else you can ask for. Like I said, I really personally like dark eggs, and hers being the darkest, big, and a lot of them, can't ask for much more. Solid 5 out of 5 for eggs. And then broodiness, it'll be a short category because she is a little over 2 years old. She turned 2 in September. So she's a little over 2 years old, never been broody before, so I'm gonna give her the obligatory 1 out of 5 there for that category. And then friendliness, as you can see, she's talking to us during this video, hanging out next to us. She's pretty friendly. She's not a chicken that's overly insanely friendly like some of these girls, like Cornbread's coming over here trying to mess with me, or Loretta was trying to jump on me earlier. She's not a wanna hop in your lap. Hey Todd. She's not wanna hop in your lap or hop on your shoulder and like you're gonna trip over her because she's under your feet. Not insanely friendly, but is like all of our chickens, because we spent so much time out here with them, is really friendly as far as chicken standards go. Not overly friendly with people, but still friendly. And then in the flock, she fits in nice. Has no issues with anybody. She hangs out with everybody. She's in the middle of everything. She's just kind of just mellows on with everyone. Like I said earlier, she's easy to find because she's the only black chicken, but don't have any issues with her at all. Just kind of middle of the pack. When she was getting introduced, she kind of had more of a introduced to the flock when she was young. She had kind of a more dominant personality, but has since kind of gave up on that and just is kind of a mellow chicken. Probably I'd say about middle of the pecking order, maybe a little bit higher than middle, like a 6 out of 10 versus a 5, but right around middle. She hangs out there, but you can see her mingling, no issues there. So I think overall I'd probably give her about a 4.2 out of 5 out of friendliness, because like I said, she's not the overly over the top friendly, but still is very friendly and gets along with everybody. So 4.2 for friendliness. And then the last category of cuteness. I wouldn't necessarily call her like a cute chicken. Like I said, black copper Marans are pretty common. You can easily find them at most of your hatcheries and stuff, so it's not super unique in that aspect. And she's unique in our flock in the sense, like I said, she's the only black chicken. She has that very pretty sheen, which is nice, but only black chicken. And she is also like, probably if I had everybody lined up, it's probably like our tallest chicken. She's not the like widest or biggest in a sense, but like, I think if everybody stands straight up, she would probably, her head would probably be the highest of everybody. So far, I think Big Bean here, the Buckeye, is giving her a run for the money, but I think she's our tallest so far. So that's kind of interesting. You can see her right there. She looks pretty tall. Even next to B, who's massive, the Bielefelder. But only black chicken, pretty tall. She lays very unique, beautiful eggs, but we already gave her a ranking for eggs, so I don't really want to throw that in there. But I think that sheen on her feathers, especially in the sunlight, and like you can see in this video right here that I'll post, is very shiny, kind of like iridescent, which I think is very cute, very cool, very interesting and unique. I know if we had other black chickens, it'd probably look like that, but I know some aren't as shiny. And the copper in her neck is really cool, feathered feet. So all in all, not insanely unique, but definitely some cool characteristics and unique in our flock. So I think for the cuteness scale, I'd probably give her a solid 4 out of 5. Yeah, I think that's fair. And so overall, it gives her a score of this right here on the screen, and that puts her in the rankings of all the chickens that we've done right here. And then we're going to continue to do these, so stick around. Gives Connie the ranking here. We're going to continue to do this this is week 14. We got another 12 after this, if I did my math right. And we'll continue to rank them. Maybe your favorite breed's going to pop up. So stick around to watch. Got a lot more, everybody around here. So come back, see the rest of the rankings. And until next time, from Connie herself and the rest of the flock over here, stay Pyrfect.